Hello, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a brand new video. And this week on the Magic Roundabout we've got a Dinky Toys AEC Road Services truck and trailer. There we go. So as you watch this go around and have a look at it, I'd just like to welcome all new friends of the channel. Thanks for joining, thanks for supporting me, and I'd like to welcome back all the old friends to the channel. Thanks again and thank you for supporting me. It's really appreciated. So, that being said, have a look at this severely faded paintwork on the front, almost pink. This is, but the rest of it is okay. Strange that. It must have been in bright sunlight, the front end of it. So, having said that, let's get it off the Magic, get it on a bench and have a bloody good look at it. Let's have a look at this then, see what we got. Right, I've took the liberty of doing the axles, grinding them off, because I'll show you for why in a minute. Right, so let's get the top off, first start off. I've got to get that off because it's all tarnished and missing. So I'll probably stick that in the oven cleaner, get rid of that. Decal off there. As I said before, I've took the grill off. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's going to have to go back on for the time being until I can find and source another one. It's a bit scratched up. And I didn't put any chrome paint or Molotow on it. Sorry, that's the word I'm looking for, Molotow on it, because it's got a lot of black in there. So that's going to stay as is. So that's that. I've got the decals for it, new decals for it. They're in there, so that's that. The cab. Let's take the trailer off first. Now because these hubs were so close to the end, as you can see, they were so close to the end, I had a hell of a job getting anything in there. So I used a pointed diamond bit on my multi-tool. Can't use the word Dremel because it's not a Dremel. Got told off for that. I used that very, very gently, gingerly. Got in there and took them out. So that's what I was doing off camera because it's difficult to do. So there's your hubs, and these are plastic hubs, so you have to be careful you don't damage them. I'll get the tires off. These are new tires that I'd put on because the tires on it weren't very good. So there's your hubs, plastic hubs. These aren't broken. A lot of these plastic ones have got chunks missing out of them and are broken, so I was lucky in that respect. That's one of the reasons why I picked this one, because you've got to look at your photos. You've got to weigh up what it's going to cost you to put it right. Like, you know, if you haven't got spare hubs, you've got to try and source some or buy something with similar hubs. So you've got to look at your photos. You've got to weigh it up. These are quite thick axles on here, so that'll take some pinging over. I've got to get this off because that's plastic and the wheels are plastic. So I'm going to drill that out and remove this. But I don't want to damage it. I might be able to. I don't think I'll be able to do it this way. I'll try, but I don't think I'll be able to do it this way. It's too tight. It's got to come out. If I try to lift that up, it'll break it and snap that, and I don't want to snap that. So I've got to get that off. Right, the cab, I've done the same with that. Took the axles off of this. Now you need to take the axles off this first anyway to get the base plate out, because you won't get the base plate out otherwise. Yeah, so we'll take the tires off here so we can give these plastic hubs a wash. I'll leave that axle down there for a minute because I want to check, see if the front's bigger than the back, which it is. Okay. All right. So your front axle is bigger than your back. Yep. Okay, because your back axle goes inside the mud guard, so you've got plenty of room. So don't forget that when you're putting it back together again. Especially if you've already peened that over, then you're going to be stuffed. You're going to have to unpeen it. So that's something to look out for. Quite a few tyres on here, so it's had all new rubber. Get them in there. Right, the next stage will be to take this rivet out and then get your base plate off. And then inside there will be the mechanism for this, which we'll have a look up in the mow. Take the glass out and get the headlights out. Alright, so I'll get the tools out and I'll get this off. Right, cracking on, moving on. Right, took that out, drilled the plate out. Okay, so I'll bet the old super duper is going to go back in there, sort that out. That'll hold that. So that's ready for stripping. That bit, that's got to go in the oven cleaner. Right, here we go. I drilled the tops of the mushrooms off. Get my screwy driver in there. It should just come off there. There you go. This is what we got. This is your fuel tank that you press to release the fifth wheel. Quite simple. There's a bit of spring plate there. Curves around there, goes in the middle. Your fuel tank and your hook. And if you take a picture, your hook is a circle inwards. Alright. So, just hold that back a bit so we can ease that spring. We don't lose it. We don't want that pinging all over the workshop, because in this workshop you'll never find it again, that's for sure. Okay, there it is. That's your spring bit. Quite tough, that one. There's your floppy in the back now. So that should just lift off now. Like so. There you go. Just a piece of plastic. It's in good condition. Just want to wash. Then your fuel tank button there, which is a little bit tight if I remember rightly to get out. There you go. It's a bit stiff in there, but goes in there. Obviously self-explanatory which way that goes round. It's like Pac-Man. So that's that. Ah, yeah, there's one more rivet. Yeah, I did forget. Yeah, there's one more to do. There's that one. That one holds this one. Oh, I forgot about that, didn't I? Oh, I did forget about that one. I think that'll probably just about do it. So we'll have a look, see. And get this out. Let me just alter the camera side, because it seems to have gone a bit weird on me. Alright, let's see if I can get this one out. It's way over there, isn't it? Got it. Got it. So then, I think the cab lifts off. There's a little tab at the front, so it's got to lift off that way. Like so. There's your interior. That's really clean, look at that. I tell you what, if it wasn't for the fact that this was all faded, that this would have been a pretty good model. You wouldn't have had to restore it, I don't think, because the back's not too bad and the green top is passable. And I think it wasn't for the fact that this had been stood in the sun for so long that it had gone pink. Even the decals on the side are pretty good. So I don't know. It's a shame. Right, we can drill into there. That's not so bad. If we're careful, we can drill into there to hold that. This one, I think is going to be glued. Sorry, this one's going to be glued because only just bearable with that one. That one's going to struggle. So that's ready for the stripper. I must check the paint before I strip this. Okay. Right. That should come out because it hasn't got a rivet on it. It's going to be tight. There's no rivet on that, so this should, there you go. Should be tight. Quite thick glass. Look at that. It's quite thick. A couple of mil thick that is. Right, so that's in there. We'll try and get these headlights out now. These, look close at those headlights. They don't look like diamond headlights. They're smooth. I don't know if somebody's replaced them with something, but they don't look like the normal headlights. To be honest with you, where's my hold on, just wait 1 minute. Yeah, because if you look at these headlights on there, you can see they've got like the square angles on them and a flat piece in the middle. And these look to be flat all the way around. So I'm not sure what these are. And they're all cloudy as well, so they're not that good. So I might have to get some more of these. I just want to dig these out. Let's have a look, see if they'll come out. See if they'll come out. I'm not bothered if I lose these. Yeah, they're coming out. There you go. Let's have a look, see what we've got. There's a bit of muck on it. Yeah, they look completely different. Yeah, I'm not sure. So I'm trying to get in a position where you can see them. Now I might have to clean them up. Let's see if I've got a pair of different pair of tweezers to hold them with. Yeah, that's the back of them. There's no colouring on the back. I don't know. I'll clean them anyway and see what happens. That's that one. See if we can get this one out as easy. Yeah, that's come out easy enough. Yeah, they got a bit of glue around them as well. Yeah, I don't think these are original. But anyway, we'll decide what we're going to do with that in a bit. There's some glass stuck in the back of there. We'll get rid of that. Right, so there we go. Stripping time. Alrighty then, all polished up. All the paint come off okay, not a real problem. I thought I might have a problem with the white, but no, it came out alright. So that's all cleaned up, ready for painting primer. It's the base. And there's the chassis floor. It's got a bit of a glare on it, hasn't it? Tweaked the back mud guard a little bit there, it was a bit bent. Just tweaky. Polished up. That's the cab. Bit of a casting line there, you can see it. There. And there we got rid of. Apart from that, we're good to go. Clean the window apertures up. The edge of these mud guards. So, it's primer time for this one. Okay then, right, that's all painted now. Nice red. I'll put a bit of chrome in where the headlights are going to go. So that's all painted now. Oh, nice. I did mask off that and left that bare metal as a grid. I'll put the front axle in, paint that over already, basically to save time. I've test fitted this a few times. It's got a couple of scratches on it where I've test fitted it to get it right. The trailer, I've already actually put that together. It's quite simple, it ain't rocket science. That's a plastic tailgate, it just clips in. Okay, and I had to paint over the axles, but to use the drill press because there's very little room on the back of here. And I've got that in place. That's not hard to do. You just got to make sure you drill it and put a short rivet in, a really short rivet. If you just super glue the plate, or it will pop out if you're not careful. So I drilled a hole in there part way, cut a rivet right down, a couple of mil. Okay, so that's in, that's done. So really we're going to assemble this bit here first. How I'm going to do this way around, I'm going to assemble all this bit in here, put the base plate on, put the axle on, and I'm going to have to pin this over again on my drill press over there, because there's very little room. And the long axle goes in the front because this is wide across there, as you see. It's not as wide as that. This is widest, so that's where the longest axle goes. The other two are the same size. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to assemble this bit, put the base plate on, put the axle on, paint that over. Okay. Obviously we're going to put the cab on as well. We're going to assemble this area. But the details I should do, and the decals I'll do afterwards, yeah, because it'll be easier than me doing the details first and then trying to put this together. I'm scratching it and knocking it about. So that's how we're going to go. That's the way we're going to go. Okay, now unfortunately I still can't find a replacement one of these, so I'll put double-sided tape on the back of this, and it's going to have to go back on. I've cleaned it out the best I can. It's not perfect, but until I can find another one, or somebody knows how to reproduce one of these, I'll do that. Okay, so there we are at the minute. Right, let's get the assembly, let's get the assembly cloth out. We just slide this into shot. There you go, this is one I made earlier. Okay, so these are all our parts. You can try and do this, just pop that on there. That's all being washed and cleaned. Okay, so that will go on there, ready for the decals. This is the I think this is the second edition of this, because the first edition they had hubcaps on this, and it had a cast front end. And what else was different? Oh, it had British Road Services on there. This one hasn't got British Road Services on there. It hasn't got the hubcaps, and it hasn't got the cast front end. I could have used another one, but I might as well just use it as it was. Okay, so let's get cracking on this. I mustn't lose the headlights. I cleaned these up the best I can and polished them. And I think because they've been in the sunlight, they seem to have gone a little bit. We've done the best we can with those. Get these little rivets out of the way because it'd be a pain in the backside otherwise. Right, okay, so I can get this on camera, get it right. The hook will go in with the raised piece and the flat piece to the bottom, like so. The fuel tank cum lever will go in with the cut out to the top, like so. Just push it in like that, so when that comes across there, like that. Okay, so that's how it'll work. Now the spring, this will be the tricky thing, getting this back in place. That goes, as you can see, I've been using it, practicing a few times, and got a bit of scratch on it. When that happens, you ain't going to see it, the base is going to be on anyway. Pop that in place there. Okay, so that's how we are. Get this right, it's a bit tricky, get this to sit right where there's no base on it. Okay. And that cut out there, as you can just see, it sits above there, so we've got to make sure that's right in, and it should operate like so. Okay, right, that's that bit done. Now we can get the cab bit done. Just move that to one side a second. Drop the clean glass in. Drop the seats in. Drop that in. Now this has got the tab on the front, so that'll go in like so. Okay, and we've got a rivet to go in there. And we get the super duper out. This is a full rivet that can go in there. Tap that in there, get that in there. Might need the tweezers to hold that. Drop that in there. Come on, you bugger. Every which way you go, never the right way. There you go. Okay. So that should hold in. That holds that in there. Okay. Then you've got your base plate. Get that right. Just make sure your axle slides through. Which it does. We'll leave that slid through for a minute. Right. Got a bit of super duper in there. Right, we'll put this rivet in. Push that home. And then this short rivet at the back. A little tiny one at the back. It's all good fun, this game, you know. It's all good fun. Squeeze that in there. Just make sure that squeeze that in there. That's okay, that's okay. And there's your cab assembled. Alrighty. Okay. Whoops. Slide that out. Put that ever on there. You'll see what I mean now. See, there's very little to peen over there. I could try with a hammer, but if I slip, I would smash that. Okay. So I'm going to go over there and try it on there when this is all dried. I'm just going to make sure this is all working. Yeah. That's working. So I'm going to leave this dry for a little while. What I will do is I'm going to take that axle out for a minute. Okay, I'm going to put some, I've got some of this micro crystal clear. I'm going to put a drop of that and put the headlights in. That's what we're going to do. So they can be drying at the same time the super glue is drying on the base. So I'm not going to take it over to the drill press just yet until that's gone off. Okay, because it'll end up probably know my luck, it'll fall apart on me. So we'll put a drop of this in there. Okay, a drop on the other side. This dries clear, so we're all right. And the headlights. Getting the right way round. Oh, bloody hell, where'd that go? There it is. Slippery suckers these, isn't they? Just making sure I've got the right point. Using wire a second while I look for something. Oh, I'm dropping everything everywhere now, chaps. I've had a bit of a tidy up, as you can probably tell. There it is, that's what I'm looking for. Well, like I say, they look a bit cloudy now, but it will clear. It will clear. Probably clear tomorrow. Oh, that's a bit mucky, that, isn't it? I'll get rid of some of that. I've got a bit too much in there. Get rid of some of this. Here we go. Right, that'll dry clear. So they will take a while to dry clear, probably tomorrow. So we'll see. Right, we'll let that dry for a second, and then we'll get this on the drill press, get it done, and I'll come back and we'll put the decals on. Okay. I need to let that dry. I think I'll put it up that way. That's it. That's it. The trouble is, when you're doing something like this for the first time and you're not 100% sure how it's all going, you always appear to be a bit nervous. So excuse me if I'm feeling a bit nervous and a bit sort of hesitant sometimes. It's because I'm not 100% sure how it's going to go. So yeah, that's why you have practice runs and dry runs. But you know what it's like when you go on camera, things always don't work out the way you want them to. So apologies for me being a bit hesitant, but there's the decals anyway. I think this one goes on the front corner there, and the other one goes on the back tailboard. These go on either side of the door, one each side of the door, and that goes across the top there. Right, okay, so I'm going to leave that and I'll catch you in a second. I'll just sort of show you my drill press if anybody's interested. The reason I can't film very much here, because as you can see, there's not a lot of room to put a tripod or camera. But as you can see, I've got the nail punch in a vise at the bottom and one in the top as well. I really only basically use this if there's no room to use the hammer. Yeah, so this is what I use. There it is. Okay, so yeah, it's only an old cheapo one. Had it years ago for doing another job. Just chucked it in here. As I say, there's not a lot of room in here. Got my reference material there. Okay, all right, and this is my dental back forming machine. Anybody else is interested in that while we're just looking at it? Okay, so there's not a lot of room in here at the minute. So anyway, there you go. Okie dokie then. Right, what I've done here, I'll put the transfer on that side and on the back there. Done that one. Okay, I've completed all the details on here. Bit of chrome banding around the tank. Done the grab handle at the back, the door handle, indicators, side lights and the bumper. Okay, so we're all good to go for the rest of the decals. One each side of the door there. I'm going to leave that for a second. I want to do this one first. Okay, is it along the, ow, the arthritis in my hands playing up. This one here, Dinky row services, that'll go in there. So drop this in the water, both of these. Okay, give them a minute or two, in second or two in there. If you can just see that I haven't got a sponge in this one because I used it for packing on my Mustang. So I've got my micro sole and micro set to use on this because this is not necessarily gonna, and need something to stick into. You can still see the faint where the old one was. I tried to get that off. I had to use oven clean to get that off. But yeah, so that's that. There you go. So we'll it shouldn't take too long in here, hopefully. All right, I'll put one, oh, drop that in there. I'll put one on and then I'll come back when I'm doing the other one. Okay, anyway, just put a bit of marker set, judging where the last one was, just along there. And if we can get this, stand up against something, I think would be best bet. Get the old decal. So we'll get this straight now. Best I can. There we go. You can see that, but it's pretty straight to me. Pretty straight to me. Let's give it a roll. Just a gentle roll. Some of that excess. Excuse me. Get the air out of it. I think that's pretty straight. Give it another go. Right, and then we'll hit it with some of the red micro sole. Okay, so that's it. So I'm going to do the same the other side. Okay, and then we'll put these on, and then we'll get it on the magic roundabout. We'll see you there then. Well, nah, I don't know. Hang on a minute. Let's nah, go on. Let's carry on for a bit. We've got a bit of time. Sod it. Let's carry on a bit. Let's see where this one goes. About here somewhere. We got a bit of time. We're not in any rush. That's pretty much bang on that. Iron her out, fellas, iron her out. There's lots of different ways of doing this. If you do it long enough, you'll find whichever way is comfortable for you. Just be careful. That's all I'm saying. There's no set way of doing decals. Obviously, you need to put some water down first. You don't have to use Microset and Microsol. But on the surface like this, where it's ribbed, it's handy to do it, shall I say. I'm not saying you should or you shouldn't. It's entirely up to you. Entirely up to you. There you go. And then put a bit of the old red stuff on it. What this does, it melts the decal and it sucks it into all the grooves. It's good for aircraft if you're doing panel lines on aircraft, because it'll suck the decal down into the panel line so it looks more realistic. That's basically what it's good for. Oh, there you go. You have to be very careful. You're not supposed to touch it after you've done this, but of course, there you go. So that's both sides done. So we'll pop that on there for now. Get the right way around. Okay, let's put that over there. Right, I'll drop these two in the water next. These will be the last two. So I'm going to handle it gently because I've just touched a little bit of red paint up where it got scratched. Because, you know, even though it's touch dry, you can handle it. Some of these paints take at least 2 or 3 days, if not longer, to cure properly before they harden off. So you might end up having to do a bit of touching up, which is par for the course, you know. Well, I hope everybody's okay and doing well. So, right, come on then. Give this a bit of a go. Should be nearly ready. Yeah, they're on the move. They're on the move. Right, let's just get this. We'll do this side here. Look. Right. It's got to go on the door. About there. As far as I can make out. Okay. Wibbly wobbly. Steady Eddie. I could do with coming over slightly actually. Just move that if I can. That's got it. Now the carrier film was not sitting right, and it was in the door hole. That's got it. So I do that. Right, okay. I'll hang on. Right, I'm just going to do the other side then, and then it we're ready for the magic roundabout then. Okay. Okay, we're all done. Before I put it on the roundabout and our old magic, I'm just going to demonstrate it working. It's locked in place now. Wheels are up at the back there. So it's all connected. There's the back. Drop the tailgate down. There you go. Okay, so it's a roller. What you do then is just press the fuel tank at the back. You can put the legs down underneath. Press the fuel tank at the side. And release, drive away. Okay, I'm just doing it like this so you can see, because the decals are not dry yet. Headlights are clearing, so there you go. There's the wheels down, that's all ready to go. So that's it demonstrated. I shan't do it on the magic because there's not enough room. So okay, we'll get on the magic then. Come on. This is what we started with, an AEC British Road Services truck with severely faded paintwork on the cab and play worn body. So this is what we started with. So now we can have a look how it all ended up. Have a look at this. Okay then, here we go then. AEC British Road Services truck and trailer, or semi as the American cousins would say, in the red rather than that faded pink. All painted up, a few extra details, new decals put on. As you saw earlier on, it all works. New tyres. Yeah, quite nice. Quite enjoyed doing this one. Come out quite nice. It really did. You know what you're going round there. Okay. This is a non-hubcap version. And it has a stick-on grill, which is really disappointing. Really disappointed with that one. That Dinky did that. I think they ruined it with putting this on. I don't know why they did it, because they've already got the casting. But there you go. Who knows? So yeah, indicators, side lights, door handles, grab handles. Bit of banding on the fuel tank around the other side. Right, okie dokie then. Hope you like this one. Look forward to your comments. And onwards and upwards to the rest of the month. I've got a busy one coming up this month. Trying to squeeze it all in. I've got one for next week. And I've also got the DMC challenge, which is our tribute to the Queen, who we lost last month. That's any of the Queen's vehicles, what she had in her stable. And also I'm doing the Paint It Pink for the breast cancer awareness. As you some of my friends would know, that my wife suffered from breast cancer and had an emergency operation and had a mastectomy. So it means a lot to me. So I'll be doing one for that for the end of the month. So anyway, as I said, onwards and upwards. Look forward to your comments, and I'll see you next week with something of another restoration. So bye for now. Take care. Have a good weekend. Okay. We'll see you soon.